Let me make sure y'all can see me. Shout out to everybody watching. Welcome to another YouTube live stream and episode 1 of the music industry convos, where we're going to be talking about the music business, music finance, and your music journey. Thank you to everybody who's watching. So many of y'all came to show support for the first episode. And for those of you who don't know, I am Classy Beats. I'm a music producer, also an aspiring artist. We'll see how that goes this year. And I've made over thousands and thousands of beats, worked with thousands and thousands of artists. And today we're just going to talk about what you're planning on doing in 2023. So I'm going to share a little bit of what I've got going on this year. You guys will get to come up and join the show and talk about some of your goals this year too. So we are going to be talking about 2023. So like I said, I'm going to be sharing some of my goals, some of the things I'm working on, and what are some of my goals for this year, what were some of my goals for last year and how that went. And we're just going to have a good conversation about growing the music brand and some of the things that you can do and that we can do to kind of get more of an audience and start making some money for some of y'all in there too. So let me share my screen over here again. I'm going to turn this music down a little bit more. I think we're good. All right. So as many of y'all know, I'm surprised by this, but I'm kind of in a rare or unique situation because I actually upload and put all of my beats on streaming software or on streaming platforms. So every beat that I make, it goes up to a streaming platform. So whether that's Spotify or Deezer or YouTube Music, every beat I make is going up to streaming platforms. And to me, that's just because I want to be able to get my music out there everywhere. So I actually have been very successful with that. And I think we're going to dedicate a whole stream coming up soon just to Spotify, because I think it's very important. And a lot of artists and producers are missing a big opportunity there. And but I guess with this being the first team stream too, I should kind of rewind and go back and maybe tell you guys a little bit of my story. So growing up, I grew up mainly in my grandparents' household. So my mom and dad got divorced when I was really young, I think about 5 or 6 or so. And then we ended up moving in with my grandparents. Thankfully, my grandfather and grandmother were both in the household. So I got to grow up in a 2-parent household, which was a blessing for me, and definitely something that is not as common today. I don't know. It's probably a 50-50 shot. I wouldn't quote the statistics on that, but it definitely helped me out in the long run. But my grandmother, she was really involved in the church, and she was also a musician herself. So she played the piano. All we're growing up, we were always listening to music and things like that. And so she taught me how to play the piano. I learned how to play the piano at an early age, got really good at it. And then as I started growing up, I got more involved in the church, started learning how to play guitar, took a couple lessons, and then mainly taught myself after that. So I started actually playing guitar, and then I played guitar in the church as well. Then after that, I learned how to play bass, and I had just been playing music and involved in music pretty much my whole life. And it's definitely been a great blessing, and it's been a lot of fun. But as I grew up and I got older, obviously I grew up, turned 18, graduated high school, went to college, and there really wasn't I really didn't take the opportunity to stay involved in music, but I had learned about producing music when I was younger. So I had a laptop. It was so old and outdated. And I heard about FL Studio from my cousin. Actually, he was making beats one day at a family reunion we were at. And, I was just kind of sitting there watching. I had no idea what he was doing, but obviously I had been involved in music for so long. I wanted to know what was going on with that. So anyway, I saw him. It was Fruity Loops back then, but I think what I heard the story is that Fruity Loops got in trouble with Kellogg's, and Kellogg said, you can't call your company that. So they changed it to FL Studio, which is mostly known as now. So anyway, I got into college, and I'm like, man, I still love music. I had my electric guitar with me still, but didn't have time to play it. I'm like, there's got to be a way for me to still work on music. So my first year in college with my broken up laptop, I started working on music a little bit. Obviously, as my freshman, sophomore, junior year went by, time gets more and more scarce. So it was a lot harder for me to work on music. So I ended up graduating, and I kind of took a little bit of a break from music. So fast forward 2 years later, and I'm like, man, I just really want to get back into making music again. So, I was trying to figure out a way to make it work. So I had a little laptop I was working on, and I got my first MIDI keyboard. This was in 2012, I want to say. And I loaded up FL Studio again, and I started making some beats. So I was watching tutorials, started watching my guy BusyWorks Beats way back in that day, which is crazy. Shout out to BusyWorks Beats. So anyway, I was working on Fruity Loops. I started making beats, started to get better. And and I really just did it kind of as a hobby and as more of like a side hustle, probably the same way a lot of you are doing now, a same way I was doing up until a few years ago. And I just kept working on it, kept getting better, kept learning. Obviously, there were times when I had to take breaks, and I didn't have as much time as I wanted to work on music. So then eventually, fast forward to, gosh, how long has it been? 5 years now. So that would have been 2017. I was getting pretty good at making beats. I started uploading my beats to some places like I got a BeatStars. That was one of the first places I uploaded. I started my YouTube channel back in 2016. I started uploading beats there, and then I found out about BeatStars, started uploading beats and selling beats on BeatStars, which was crazy. My first year, I actually made, I don't even remember. I could probably go back and look it up. I think I made a couple $100, and that just really blew my mind. So I was like, man, there's really something to this whole music thing. So I just started, anytime I would get free time, I would be working on music, getting into music, making beats, uploading beats. And the YouTube channel started to do pretty well, so I was uploading there. And then I found out about RapChat, which is crazy because RapChat, obviously most of y'all here watching are RapChat fam. I know Mandy X is part of the RapChat crew, Johnny Woo, even CG Beats is over there on RapChat, Madman, Big D Right. But yeah, RapChat really changed my life, which is kind of crazy to think, because most people just think of it as it's just an app. But back in that day, I actually just started uploading. They had just allowed beat uploads on RapChat. So rewind just a little bit. There's a producer named Curtis King, and if y'all haven't heard of Curtis King, me and Curtis King go way back. It's crazy that I've known him for as many years as I have now, but he's an amazing producer. Started out as, well, a producer artist. He does rap as well, but make sure y'all go check him out. And I'm hoping one day we'll definitely have him over here on the show. But he's got a huge YouTube channel. He does a lot of things for the community. But he was hosting a challenge on RapChat back in the day, and it was called the 1 Minute Challenge. Some of y'all who have been around for a while may know or remember this challenge. It was called the 1 Minute Challenge, and basically had a small clip of a beat, and you would have to rap over it, and you had 1 minute to rap over a challenge. And that was the first time I had heard of RapChat, and I was like, man, I'll have to look and see what this RapChat thing is. So I go over to RapChat, I sign up, and they had just introduced the ability to upload beats. So I'm like, well, if Curtis can upload beats, why not upload beats myself? So I'll see what happens. So I was listening to some of the music, and I was like, I don't know if this is worth my time. I don't know if I want to do this. So anyway, I kept uploading. And then sometimes when I would have issues, I'd email support. And it was funny, at the time, the CEO of RapChat, Seth, he was doing everything. So he would reply to emails, and then somebody that was close to him was helping him reply to emails. So they were basically running support by themselves. So I actually ended up building a good relationship with Seth, and then I would see, in his email it say, CEO, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy that the CEO is back there running the support. So that's pretty cool. So I just saw the opportunity, and I saw where RapChat could go. So I was like, man, let me just keep investing with it. So throughout the years, I keep investing with it. Fast forward, oh man, that would have been 5 years late, or no, not even 5 years later. 4 years, 3 years later, it's 2020, and now I got the opportunity to work with RapChat. Seth reached out to me. He's like, man, we'd love to have you over here. You know the community well. You've been involved with the community so long. come on and join Rap Chat. And that was where everything really changed for me, because I was starting to transition to becoming a full-time producer, and I was building a good solid brand. Obviously, you know, Rap Chat wouldn't want me if I hadn't built a good brand since then, but it just opened up so many doors. Like I said, I got to meet Curtis. He's a huge producer on YouTube. I got to meet BusyWorks Beats, CG Beats, who has a huge brand and is crazy with just growing as a brand. So anyway, super long story short, you know, I'm here where I am today because of my brand. And now, like I said, I'm growing over on Spotify. I'm doing crazy, stupid numbers on Rap Chat, doing crazy numbers on BeatStars, and then for a producer, I'm actually really doing super crazy numbers there. So I just say all that to say and encourage you guys, you know, it has to start somewhere. And I think a lot of my success has been just not forgetting, one, what got me here, and not forgetting to continue to put into work. So it's cool to see how all that went along. I know there's a lot of detail that I missed in the beginning, like, and we'll go over some of it too, like starting on BeatStars. I've got over a million plays on BeatStars now. My monthly listeners on Spotify has gone crazy. So anyway, so yeah, so that's a little bit of my story. Obviously, I appreciate everybody who's watching. This is crazy for the first stream. We've got over 15 people watching across all platforms. So thank you all so much for watching.